Hi, welcome. Now in today's lessons, we'll be doing conversion factor. So we'll have two lessons for this one. The first lesson will be going through the basics of how to convert, how to use the conversion factor or a conversion rate. And secondly, we'll be focusing on past questions from past exam papers. So let's get started. Now, first of all, before you start doing any calculations, you have to go to your calculator. So you must have been watching how to use your Casio. First, it's shift, then it's 9, then it's 3, then it's equal sign, and then it's AC. Why did I do that? Now, my calculator could have been in the wrong mode. It could have pressed itself, or you could have borrowed it to someone and ended up in the wrong mode. Now, you don't want to use your calculator without it being in the correct or the normal mode, because you might get the wrong answers. So now that I've cleared my calculator, we can start. So the conversion factor, essentially to convert, a conversion is to change from one system to another, or is to change from, let me use a white for this one, is to change from one unit to another unit. Now, which systems am I talking about? So primarily under mathematical literacy, you have a system called imperial. Now, an imperial system is a system that is used in the United States or in Britain. It's essentially a system that has inches. It's a system that has gallons. It's a system that also has miles. So, and then we also have a system that we use here in South Africa, which is called metric system. So this one, it's a metric system. This one, the metric system, basically it has your kgs, your centimeters, your meters, your liters, everything that you are familiar with. And now the reason why the definition here also says is to change from one unit to another. It's simply because you could also use a conversion factor simply to change from kilograms to grams. Or you could use the same system to change from milliliters to liters. So that is from one unit to another. But most importantly, we'll be focusing on changing from the imperial system to the metric system, imperial system to the metric system, or vice versa, from the metric system to the imperial system. Now, it doesn't matter which system you are changing from, going to which system, because what I will be teaching you are the basics. You just need to master the basics. When you master the basics, you will be able to use any conversion factor because they all work the same. They all work the same. Now, here, as you can see, we have 1 inch is equals to 2.54 centimeters. So this system is an imperial, and we are using this system to change from imperial to metric. So essentially, this system, what it's telling us is that if you are in the US and you have an inch or 1 inch, when you come to South Africa, that could be 2.54 centimeters. Same one with this one. When you're in South Africa and you have 18 rands, when you go to the United States, it's essentially $1. Same down here, it's still the same system, just multiplied by 2. So let's do this. First thing, when you get a conversion factor, or when you get a question that has to do with a conversion factor, this is what you do. You see, this will be on the question paper. You will be given the conversion factor. So the first thing that you have to do is to rewrite the conversion factor. So let's use a white, rewrite the conversion factor. So I'm going to say 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. Having rewritten the conversion factor, the second thing that I want to do, I want to go to my question and I want to ask myself, what am I being asked to change, or what am I being asked to convert? Well, according to this question, they want me to convert 10 inches. Now go back to your conversion factor. Where or on which side do I have the inches? Well, I have them on my left side. Since I have them on my left side, I'll go to my left side under and write 10 inches. And then I put the equal sign again. On my right side, I do not have the centimeters. Why? Because that is what I am looking for. So I have to put an X, or you can put a question mark. It's fine. Now, when I have this that I have simply come up with here is what you want to do. Now, let me look for a rad. You want to cancel an X because you won't be needing that. And you also want to cancel a 1 because you also won't be needing that. When you look at your numbers, can you tell that your numbers, they are now sitting across? There's a 10 inch here and there's a 2.54 centimeters here. When they are across like this, the system is essentially telling you that you must multiply. When numbers are sitting across, you must multiply them. This is where the whole concept of cross multiplication comes from. So now you have to multiply 10 inches by 2.54 centimeters. So let's go to our calculator and say 10 multiplied by 2.54, and then you know the change pattern. Here it is. And then we are getting 25.4 centimeters. So now let's go down here. Let's focus on this one so that you can also understand and gain even more knowledge with regards to conversion factors. So again, first step, right? It's important that you always do your calculations using basic steps so that it's easy for you to remember what is it that you're supposed to do first, what is it that you're supposed to do next. Now the question says convert 50 centimeters to inches, but they've already given us the conversion factor that says 1 inch is equals to 2.54 centimeters. So again, what's the first step? The first step, you rewrite the conversion factor that you have been given. So the conversion factor is 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. And then what's the next question? It's to go back here and ask yourself, what am I being asked to convert? What are they asking me to change? Well, they're asking me to change 50 centimeters. And then you ask yourself, do I find 50 centimeters on the left of the conversion factor or on the right? Well, I find them on the right, this side. So I am going to say that 50 centimeters, and then I put the equal sign again. I do not have the inches. Why? It is what I am looking for already. Therefore, I have to put an X or a question mark. Now, when the system, it's like this. Remember what I said? You have to cancel what? You have to cancel an X. You won't be needing that. You also have to cancel a 1. You also won't be needing that. Now, can you tell that the numbers are no longer sitting across? Essentially, they are sitting on the same side. Like they are on the same side. Like they are just on. I'm sorry about that. Let me try and get that. Okay, let's see. Erase that. Now it has also erased the 5. It was not supposed to do that. Why did it do that? Okay, let's go back to the rad. So what I was trying to show you is that the numbers, they are now on the same side. Now when the numbers are on the same side, let's write it here. Same side, you are supposed to divide them. So when the numbers sit on the same side, what they are telling you is that you are supposed to divide them, but you don't just divide them as they are. You take the bottom number and you divide the one that is at the top. So this is what I mean. You are going to say 50 divide by 2.54, and then let's go to the calculator. So let's cancel this. You say 50 and you divide 50 by 2.54 centimeters. And then you are going to have 19. Okay, let's round it off to 2 decimal places. It's going to be a 69. And also, if you don't understand how to round off, there'll be a video that I will be making with regards to how to round off, so don't worry about that. So this is the answer. It's inches. It's what we're calculating. It's inches. So this is the basics that you have to understand. After cancelling the x and the 1, if the numbers are sitting across, you have to what? You have to multiply them. After cancelling the 1 and the x, if the numbers are sitting on the same side, you have to divide them. But you always divide what you start with what you have right below, and you divide what you have at the top. You divide by what you have at the top. So always, it does not matter. Remember, these are basics and these are rules. It doesn't matter if the number that is sitting below is small or it's big, you use it. We could have essentially been asked to convert. So let's say we could have been asked to convert 1. Okay, I can't be using that color. I cannot be using that color. We could have essentially been asked to convert 1 centimeter to inches. Because we could have started, like we always start with a conversion factor, we could have put a 1 here. Here, there was going to be a 1. That does not mean we are supposed to say 2,54 divided by 1. No, we're still supposed to say 1. Yes, 1 divided by 5 by 2,54. These are the rules. These are the rules. You divide the number that is at the bottom or the number that is below by the number that is on top. Always, 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 and always. Now, let's go to this one. By now, you understand a bit, you get where we are going. So again, what's the first step? And like I said, can you tell here it's 1 inch is equals to 2,54 centimeters? What does this mean? This simply means that we went from imperial to metric. It doesn't matter. Like I told you, wherever there is an equal sign, it's essentially telling you that what you have on your left and what you have on your right, they are equal. Even if it was, now let me make this clear for you, even if it was 254 centimeters is equals to 1 inch, it would serve the same purpose. It's the same thing. Why? Because the equal sign is telling us that what we have on our right and what we have on our left, they are the same. Hence here, instead of starting with a system from, or an imperial system, I started with a metric system. Well, these are currencies. I know currencies, it does not essentially mean that it has to be imperial or it also has to be metric. But what I'm trying to show you is that instead of putting 18 rands here, I could have put $1 here and then also 18 rands here. But it does not matter. Why does it not matter? Because we have this guy here. This guy tells you that the sides don't matter. This could be on the other side and this could be on that side. It would still serve the same purpose. So now, first, like I said, we are going to start with what? The conversion factor, which is 18 ZAR is equals to $1 US. Second question that you have to ask yourself, what am I converting? Well, I am converting 100 ZAR. Where is my South African rands? Are they on the right or on the left? Well, they are on the left. So I come here, I write 100 ZAR is equals to, do I have US dollars? No, I do not have them. What do I put? Therefore, I have to put an X. What's the next thing that I have to do? I have to do cancellations. What am I cancelling? I am cancelling an X and I'm also cancelling a what? A 1. Having cancelled, now where are my numbers? Are they across or are they on the same side? Well, they are on the same side. What does the equation say when the numbers are on the same side? It says you must divide. Does that mean I have to say 18 divided by 100? No, sir. That's not what it says. It always says that you take the number that is below, you divide it by the number that is on top. So what am I supposed to do? 100 divide by 18. So let's go to the calculator and say 100 divided by 18. And what do we get? This is a change button. You get, let's round it off. So we'll say it's a 5. To do the small places, 56 USD. So this is telling you that if you're in South Africa and you have 100 rands, basically when you go to the United States, you would have 5.56 US dollars. Now let's come to this one again. What's the first step? What's the first step? Well, I bet by now you can just pause the video and just try to attempt this one. Or you could have paused the video before we attempted this exchange rate or the currency, and you could have seen where you are with regards to understanding. So again, what's the first step? The first step is the conversion factor is equals to 1 USD. What do we do secondly? Secondly, we look, what am I supposed to convert? Well, it's 500 USD. Are they on my left or on my right? Well, the USDs, they are on my right. Therefore, I am going to write 500 USD. This side, do I have the South African rands? No, I don't have them. What therefore do I put? I have to put an X. And then there comes the cancellation. There comes the cancellation. What am I supposed to cancel? Well, say you're supposed to cancel your X because you won't be needing that. And you're also supposed to cancel your 1 because you also won't be needing that. Now you ask yourself the next question. Are they across or are they on the same side? Well, say they look to be across. What do we do when they are across? We multiply. Across, we do what? We multiply. Therefore, I'm going to say 18 multiplied by 500. Go to the calculator and say 18 and you multiply it. Okay, no, by 500. But we get, we get 9,000. Look at that. It says that when you are in the USA, you have 500 US dollars. When you convert them to South African rand, you essentially have 9,000. So that's how it works. Now, as you can see at the bottom, we have, now it looks slightly different. It's no longer 1 is to something, 1 this is to something that no, or something that is to 1 that no. Now it's 2 inches. It is equals to 5.08 centimeters. No, don't worry. It is as simple as we have been doing it. But now we are going to put the 2 together. Remember, same side we divide, across we multiply. Now we put the 2 together. So let me get some real estate here. There we go. That should be better. We can work on that. So let's do this. Now it says you have to convert 20 inches to centimeters. Like I told you, these are the basics. These are the laws. These are the rules. Nothing has changed. We are still going to do it exactly as we have been doing it. So let's come here. First things first. What's the first step? Conversion factor. 2 inches or 2 inch is equals to 5.08 centimeters. Second thing, what am I being asked to convert? Well, they're asking you to convert 20 inches. And then, are they on my left of the conversion factor or are they on my right? Well, they are on my left. Therefore, you write them on your left. Inches is equals to, do I have centimeters? No, I don't have them. You can put an X or a question mark. Next step, it's about cancellation. Remember I said you cancel an X because you won't be needing that, and a 1. We no longer have a 1 now. So if we no longer have a 1, that means the only thing we can cancel is an X. But this is where it gets interesting. Now, can you see that we have numbers or values on the same side, and we also have another value on the other side? Now, this is why I said you have to apply both steps. If numbers are on the same side, what do we do to them? We divide them. If there is a number that is sitting across, what do we do to it? We multiply it. So here, again, bottom by top. So it's going to be 20 divide. Now I'm using this fractional divide. 20 divided by 2. You'll see why. Because since I have dealt with this side whereby I have divided these 2 values, now I have to multiply by what is across, and that is a 5 or 5.08. So let me go to my calculator. Fraction, say 20, and then by 2, and then you multiply the whole thing by 5, and then you are going to get 50 centimeters. That's what you do. Now you deal with what is on your left, and you could have precisely just said 20 divided by 2 first. You got your answer, and after getting your answer, then you multiply it by 5.0. Sorry, I didn't multiply it by 5.08. It's now that I can see. Sorry, you're supposed to say 0.08. Change button, it was going to give you a 50.8. A 50. That's not what we are looking for. That's not what we are looking for. We are simply looking to cancel this. So it could have been 50.8 centimeters. Yes, I'm sorry about that. So that's what you do. So let's focus on this one. Again, we are going to do the same steps, right? Same steps. Like I told you, and you master this, you are going to master everything that has to do with conversion. I'm talking about your currencies, your exchange rates. I'm talking about these ones, the measurements. I'm also talking about what appears on a bar scale, of which is something we are going to do. Immediately we start tackling paper 2. So here again, first steps. 2 inches is equals to 5.08 centimeters. Next question. What am I being asked to convert? You are being asked to convert 40 centimeters. Are they on my left or on my right of the conversion factor? Well, they are on my right. Therefore, it's 40 centimeters. Do I have inches? No, I don't have them. Therefore, I have to put an X. And then next, you do the cancellations. X, we don't want. If there was a 1, we're also going to cancel that. But now we don't have a 1, so we're only going to cancel an X. Now, this is where we have to apply both of what we have already learned. What is on the same side, what do we do to it? Of course, we divide. What sits across, you see? What sits across, what do we do to it? We have to multiply. Again, this by this. By now you know that. Bottom by top. So we are going to say 40 divide by 5.08 and we multiply it by 2. What do we get? So let's go to our calculator. Fraction first. We said that we have a 40 and we have to divide that 40 by a 5.08, and then we have to multiply the whole thing by 2. What are we now getting? Let's change that. We are getting a 15 rounded off to 2 decimal places. It's going to be a 7.5 inches. So that's how we do it. And do not have to think. Now let me show you something. Whether you're converting from imperial to metric or metric to imperial, or it's not from different systems, you are within one system. When I say within one system, they could ask you to convert from 1 kg, you have to convert 1 kg to grams. So from kilograms to grams, this is within one system, this is within the metric system, but then you are still going to use the same thing. How are you going to use the same thing? If you already understand that, and don't stress about the conversions of the measurements, most importantly, measurements within one system, you're going to do this. Because you already understand that 1 kg is equals to 1,000 grams. If they ever ask you to convert, so let's say the question says convert 10 kg to grams, what am I going to do here? I'm going to do the same thing. Under 10 kg, I'm going to put my kgs, right? 10 kgs. And then under grams, do I have them? No, I don't have them. I'm going to put an X. What did I say you should cancel? Well, by now you know. When you know, you know. When you know, you know. If they are sitting across, what do we do to them? Again, when you know, you know. And that is supposed to give us a 10,000 grams. So that's just about that. You will hopefully tune in for the next one, because on the next one we'll be doing past question papers to see how we can apply what we have learned here on the next on past question papers. So yes, thank you for tuning in. Keep well.